in South Africa it's now morning. So I must say I don't know. I think it's daytime at your place now.
It's the day before. It's the evening here. The day before.
Okay.
We're still a day
How
behind
are
you.
you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thanks for coming on the show last minute like this. I got footage, video footage. I'm going to play later of gangs, like big protest gangs in South Africa, roaming the major streets and the major boulevards in the major cities, forcibly deporting people from other African nations, from all nations of the world, and telling them get out of South Africa.
Yes, that is correct. They are busy doing that. They're chasing out all the other foreigners or other people from African countries out of South Africa. But they are concentrating on the Zimbabweans and the Mozambicans and the Malawians. So they forcefully remove them out of the country. Currently, according to what I know, there's about 14 people that were already killed by this xenophobia attacks from the, you can say partly it's mostly it's Zulus that wants these people out of South Africa.
So what do they expect to do when they take? Okay, so they're crushing or destroying their only food source in South Africa of the white farmers. Now the white farmers go. Who's going to feed these people, or what? Do they have a plan in place to feed themselves once they destroy their own food source?
Yeah, currently they're not busy with the farmers. They're busy in the cities, in the big cities like Pretoria, Durban, Johannesburg, chasing out the foreigners, the people not having documentation and everything, chasing them out of the country. There was about, if I can say now, was about between 8 to 9,000 Malawians that were chased out of Durban. That's only Durban, huh?
Yeah.
So the total of amount of people now that's currently stuck there at the border now, at Beitbridge, that's between South Africa and Zimbabwe, now, is about 140,000 people. That must be documented before they can leave the country. Okay. So yeah, it's a terrible situation. The people don't know where and what they must do. The foreigners that's not having documentation in South Africa.
Well, I could see them removing a lot of useless people from the country that are not going to contribute. But the problem is, what about the white farm or the people that contribute to building the country? What about those people? Who's going to maintain the infrastructure when these people go?
That's correct. It's a lot of these people. They like for instance in the building industry, they help to build houses and big malls and so on. They are very good craftsmen. They know how to build. And the thing is, most of the South Africans they are lazy. They don't want to work.
Right.
They want to do. They are dependent on government grants and so on. And for the last, you can say, last 30 years, they didn't want to do anything, but now they want to chase these people out of the country. I don't know why, but it is a problem. It's like the culture. We foresee a lot of problems, and if the people are not going to leave South Africa, they will definitely kill them. What they say they will do that.
Because the streets there, I'm looking at footage that you've sent me, other people have sent me from South Africa. The main boulevards and streets are completely crumbling. The infrastructure, the sewer system, everything is completely collapsing because the Europeans that originally built that system is not there to fix the system. And Ben, I've been trying to tell people here in Canada the same thing in Canada, where you get rid of the European expansion in Canada, you're going to have a lot of problems here maintaining the Canadian infrastructure, because none of these people are picking up anything to fix anything here. It's the people that built it are being deported, or they're getting offered assisted suicide, or they're just killing us. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening here in Canada, right? So it's going to become like South Africa very soon.
Most definitely. You see, we in South Africa, here we've got about, I think, 69 municipalities now that is now actually bankrupt. They must get funding from the the national government. But because of corruption and all the theft cases going on, they're stealing money, a lot of money that comes from the national government to help the municipalities. Nah? They steal the money through tenders, nah? And that tenders are all BEE related. So if you're not BEE connected, you don't get the tender. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And B is for their cadres. So all the municipalities that they were in charge of the municipalities, that is now the ANC regime, the government, their cadres are working at the municipalities and they give the tenders to their cadres, nah? And now the BEE nah, is causing lots of problems in South Africa, Mike. Um, People think no, everything is going smoothly in South Africa. There's no race laws against our people here in South Africa. They created this BEE nah, to only benefit their own few people. And it's only a few people getting enriched by this BEE that they created in South Africa.
So they're misdistributing the wealth, and it's not being distributed properly, and it's not reaching the hands of the people
correct.
that need it, or the regions or the sectors. So if a school needs to be fixed, a sewer system needs to be fixed, but money is not reaching those sectors.
Not at all, not at all. And it's a huge problem because they get money from the International Monetary Fund or what, IMF, and they get money from Europe and they get money from all over. And they steal the money through their corruption. If you must see what's going on in South Africa, our police are corrupt to the core. Our generals are corrupt. They are involved in tender scams where tenders were given for their cadres. They steal a lot of money in South Africa, Mike.
But what about the problem we're having? The problem I'm having is they are after the food structure. They're after are they still after the white farmers, or have they stopped, or have the white farmers left South Africa? Because I know a lot of white farmers are leaving South Africa. So what are they going to do for food in the next 3 years?
No, it's not only farmers. No? A lot of farmers did leave South Africa. We used to have about 40,000 farmers in South Africa. No? There's only 30,000 left. And with the refugee program from President Donald Trump from America, already 10,000 refugees left South Africa because of persecution in this country, because of this 145 race-based laws that's discriminating against our minority population.
Oh, it's terrible. It's very sad to see what's happening, and to go after Canada's the same thing. They're going after the people that built the country, that run the country, that maintain the country, and they're offering them assisted suicide. They're telling people to go ahead and go back to Europe. We don't care, leave, whatever. And they're making it impossible for us or the people that built the country to have children and continue our bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And we're being replaced with people from Pakistan, China, India. They're replacing us, right? And that's been a big problem here in Canada since 1993. And it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
And who's going to maintain the water facilities? The water we have infrastructure breaking here. And it's taking, Ben, it would take 2 weeks to fix the problem. Now, 3 years to fix the problem. Because if the people...
I think...
Yeah.
I think you're on the same path as South Africa. Remember 1994, the whole world, they looked at South Africa. They say it's a new democracy, nah?
Mm-hmm.
And I think things will work in South Africa. Democracy is not working in South Africa, Mike. We are now currently, there's a lot of groups in South Africa, nah? You can't say, it's not vigilante groups or whatsoever, nah? It's people that want a smooth change in government. They want another government. They don't want the ANC anymore. They want like a federal system in South Africa now, where each and every state will have like a state senator governing the state, nah? And then all the you can say we've got about 12 different languages in South Africa, 12 different tribes, nah? But that's just only you can say mostly of the African tribes. Nah?
Mm-hmm.
But then we've got in South Africa, we've got people from Germany, we've got people from Portugal, We've got people from England, Scotland, Ireland, all that other countries. Now, that's also in South Africa, but we are the minority, understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the leaders of the African tribes, and the you can call it the kings,
Okay.
of the African tribes, they're also sick and tired of this democratic dispensation because they use the democracy to rule, to have rule over all the people, to tell the people what they must do. But in the meantime, we don't have freedom. We don't have a choice to take part in our own cultural sports. Like for instance, now the last 2 weeks, our cultural sport were attacked. Our
Mm-hmm.
Boki week. This is where the white communities having places from all over the country, all over the provinces, take part in rugby, netball, hockey, and other sport events. But it is the whites because it's a cultural venue or a place where all the people took part.
Right.
Now the government, the Minister of Sport, Gator McKenzie of South Africa, they attacked the whites. Say, why do we have inclusive sport? But we don't interfere with the African tribes with their rituals or with their sport functions or whatsoever. And according to our constitution, Mike, we have a right to carry out our religion
Mm-hmm.
free without the interference of the South African. We say the South African communist regime because they are communist aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Now they want to prescribe to us, the minority population, how we should take part in our religion, our churches. They want to interfere there. They interfere with our cultural sport
Mm-hmm.
to tell us we're not allowed to have this venues or these functions. We are sick and tired now of the ANC communist regime using democracy to rule over our people in the country, especially over our minorities. We are excluded. We have to pay taxes, high taxes and all that type of things but we are excluded out of the economy.
That's really, really sad to hear. Again, other countries are facing this wrath, and it's taking Canada obviously because it's a British. It's a British white culture colony that started with the Irish, the Dutch, the French, the Scottish. It's a little bit different because the roots were predominantly white or white founding, right? Christian values. Now it's going the reverse. Now in Canada, Ben, I don't know if you know this, but the white Canadian has become the minority now. The white Canadian now is the minority.
That's I can see it's a problem.
So that's there's nowhere for the European expansion to live, right? We go back to Europe. Europe is being taken over by Muslim. There's a Muslim invasion happening, but a lot of European countries are standing up to it and deporting people, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, but
And,
you in your country, your people must start a movement to put pressure on your government to also to put these people that's illegal in your country to put them out of your country. Mike, hear me now. You're going to have lots of problems.
but Ben, we got a tiny problem in Canada, and we on Mike in the Night in 2018 November, we covered a Mike in the Night that was very important on this show, and we covered that Canada signed the UN Migration Pact for Open Borders in November 2018. Whoa. They signed the UN Migration Pact for migrants to come in, not immigrants. Immigrants have to go through a vetting process, background check, make sure they're not stealing a Canadian's job, make sure they're going to produce for the country. The UN Migration Pact in 2018 November was signed by Justin Trudeau to allow migrants to come in and use the country. Migrants don't build anything, Ben. They don't produce anything, Ben. They don't fix anything, Ben.
Nothing.
They don't, you see, migrants. So immigrants are the Portuguese, the Italian, the Dutch, the French. They built. Now, the UN Migration Pact is what destroyed us here. And 103 other countries signed the same UN Migration Pact, allowing migrants to come in and basically take the country over.
Okay, but I can see now. I think I don't know if Canada is part of the European. If they are also part of the some of the European countries acts or whatever. Nah? If they also fall under the European Parliament. But I saw something in the European Parliament. They now turning against the Immigration Act.
Mm-hmm.
So now it is law that they must put all the illegal immigrants out of their countries. Now,
Mm-hmm. Someone saying in
so
the
they voted.
comments, someone in the comments, Ben, is saying what the speaker says are what the speaker is saying are copied from mainland China policies.
It could be. It could be because China is also, you know what, they don't have any democracy in China, no? Nothing.
Oh, they're
The
burning
government
churches.
tells you it's communism, they tell
They're burning churches. They're going.
Mike, are you there?
I'm here. They're going after
Yeah.
They're going after underground churches now in the countryside of China now. China was going after the main cities, the main churches, the main Jesus Christ, the whole main thing. Now they're going out into the country and looking for underground churches now.
Yeah, they actually they demolished the Muslim churches also.
Yeah.
But I heard they are busy now with the churches also, the Christian churches.
Yeah,
So
they've
they
been
don't
after
want
the Christians for.
the Christian religion there.
Yeah. Are you driving? Do you have to go?
Yes, I'm on the road, but you can still speak. I'm just on the road, but you can speak now.
Okay. I just want to make sure you don't get in trouble while you're talking to us. But
No.
well, it's really good to
Yeah,
give.
with us it's now early in the morning. Okay,
Yes.
now I'm going to stop now. It's early in the morning. It's about 4 o'clock here in South Africa.
Uh-huh.
So the traffic officials are not a lot on the road, as well as the police. And that's why our crime is also very high.
Mhm.
If you move around here during the night or in the morning, you must be very careful because all the criminals are moving around during the night and during the morning, early morning hours.
Wow. Where are you off to now?
I,
Are you going home or?
Now, I was just looking for a vehicle because I'm escorting a vehicle. I'm a private security risk consultant. So I'm working for a company. I'm escorting the vehicles to see that they are not hijacked.
Whoa,
That
wow.
is how our country becomes.
Wow. So you got to make sure the vehicles you are escorting don't become hijacked.
That's correct. They are transporting medicines, and medicines is very expensive in South Africa. So the criminals are even hijacking vehicles that's transporting medicines.
I don't know what to say, Ben. I'm lost for words, and I'm very scared that Canada will be like this, and they're on the path to it. They're on the path to where you guys are. Wow.
No, definitely.
Wow. All right,
Well,
Ben.
I can just tell your listeners now that
Yeah.
The things that they see in the newspapers overseas now about South Africa, they don't put in the real things that's happening in South Africa. So all the people over the world think that everything is going very smooth in South Africa.
No, it's not.
There's no crime. There's no murders. You know what? Now, our statistics about the farm murders. About every month, there's about 2 or 3 farmers that's been killed. We only have 30,000 farmers now. Now, out of the population, out of 62 million, you can think for yourself. What is the percentage now of the farmers? The farmers are only 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
The population is 62 million. So the farmers are providing food. They're producing the crops and everything, so that the population can eat and so on.
Right.
So it is out of the 30,000 farmers that's left. Every month there's about 2 or 3 farmers that's been killed. And then we don't even talk about the farmer tax. So things in South Africa is not what the media overseas tell you, that there's no farm murders, there's not persecution in South Africa. That is all a lie.
Mm-hmm.
they must come to South Africa and people see for themselves what's going on in South Africa.
Yep. Yep. Because they're making it seem. Because I was watching the news here, the Canadian news. Because sometimes I go to a gym, and when I'm at the gym, I'm looking at the TV, and there's always mainstream media, and they were saying, "Oh, South Africa and Donald Trump is destroying." They actually had a segment that Donald Trump is destroying South Africa. Removing farmers, so the South Africans trying to sabotage South Africa, so the people in South Africa starve because he's removing the farmers.
Yo, that is negative publicity that they are using there. Nah?
Yep.
It is not all the farmers that's going over to America. Lots of the people that's going over, it's civilians.
Yeah.
We are the Boer nation. Huh? We are the Boer. Huh? So lots of the people are persecuted. They don't get jobs. They are excluded out of the economy. They don't survive because they don't get the job.
Yeah,
if they apply for a job in South Africa, everything is about race quotas. Nah? And then the companies tell, the government force the companies to say, for instance, employ 80% Africans, 20% must be divided between the whites, the Indians, and the coloreds. 20%, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can think for yourself, our whites in South Africa, where do they get food on the table if they don't have a job to work, where they don't have a job?
Yeah.
They can't provide their families with food. So they want to exterminate our white minority population in South Africa, but not only our whites, the Indians as well as the coloreds and the Khoisan in South Africa.
Interesting.
They try to force us out of South Africa, Mike. That is what they are doing. That's why they're creating all this 145 race-based laws against us.
But race-based laws, you talked about this last time you were on the show, but let me ask you this. What contingency plans do these people have in place to feed their people when the people that produce the food leave? That's what I need to know.
I don't know. They will import it now at a very costly price from overseas European nations or whatsoever. Zimbabwe now, currently, the farmers don't want to go back to go and farm on the farms there. Although the government in Zimbabwe say they want to pay some farmers the money for the expropriation that took place there now. Mm-hmm. But the farmers don't want to go back there. So who's going to produce the food there in Zimbabwe? Still Zimbabwe, nah? They get food from South Africa. They import their food from South Africa. All the vegetables, the maize, the white maize, the yellow maize, everything.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty intense because Africa is going to starve. I think it was a video we made. We made a prediction video back in 2020 that Africa will starve by 2030 at the rate it's going at. And
that's 100%, Mike. It will happen because you know what? Our population, a few years ago, about 20, 30 years ago, the population was not even 62 million. Huh? There was about, I think, 40 million or something. Our population grows so much now that if they're going to still keep killing the farmers now, where are they going to get the food? Mm-hmm. So that will be a huge problem. As I told you now, and we're not lying, there was 40,000 farmers in South Africa. Now only 30,000 farmers left.
To feed 60 million people.
I don't know.
If you do basic math, it
62 million people.
And if you do basic math, it doesn't add up, no matter what you do.
Not at all. And you know what the problem now in South Africa also, Mike? Lots of those big companies, they're pulling out of South Africa. There's the bears now. They're going to close the mines there because the diamonds that the Russians are producing, that's lab diamonds now, is causing the market of the diamonds now to fall. Yes. So in Zimbabwe, in Botswana, our neighboring country also, they have to close down mines there. Now in South Africa, the bears have to close down a mine. Huh? Mm-hmm. Over 3,000 to 4,000 people is going to be jobless.
Whoa, that's huge. That's huge, man. Wow. Wow.
Now we're having really problems, and our economy is not growing. It's not growing. There was now, last year, Nissan in Pretoria closed down. They just have a huge plant there where they assemble the Nissan vehicles. Now, the
Yeah,
Nissan
Nissan cars,
Navarans
trucks,
and
pickup
the Nissan
trucks, work
vehicles. Huh?
vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nissan
So they
closed down
close
there.
down. Now the Chinese come in. They put up. They take over the Nissan factory, the plant, and now they're producing the cherry vehicles there in Pretoria. So what's going on? The Chinese are bringing in all their equipment to build their vehicles and all that nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah, well, China's been again taking land in all over Africa and creating and building mines and not giving nothing to the people, right? And just raping the resources from the country to bring back to mainland China, right? And they were stealing sand from Mozambique, from Portuguese Africa. They were stealing sand, Ben, in 2016, 2017 from Mozambique to take it back to build their islands of terror in China, those islands that they built there off the coast of in the South China Sea.
Mm.
Yep, they were stealing dirt, sand from Mozambique, and they deforested half of that country too. The Chinese deforested half of Mozambique for wood. So yeah, so we're in a big situation. The world's in a big shit world of problems right now, Ben. Anyways, Ben, I'm gonna let you.
Angola,
Uh-huh.
in Angola, the Angolanian people, they are chasing out the Chinese there now. Huh?
Yes, they are. In Angola, we covered it on Mike of the Night, Portuguese Africa, because I watched the news from Angola, Ben. I watched the news with my children from Angola. We watched like 2 different news stations from Angola, because I want my kids to learn Portuguese, right? So we're watching the news, and they're telling, we want the Chinese get the hell out of here. They don't do nothing. They're racist. They treat us like crap. Get the hell out of Portuguese Africa. Get out. So yeah, they are pushing the Chinese out. If they're arresting them, they're just arresting them and sending them back to their country. It's like, get out of here. We don't care if you have a mattress factory. We don't care what you're building here. You're not, because it's not supporting the people of the country. It's only supporting them.
Yeah.
So.
Now they're busy there now in Angola. So I don't know what's going on there, but I saw that. That was now a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Where the people from Angola, they are not taking nonsense of this Chinese people.
No, it's done. It's over. Game over. Get out of Portuguese Africa. So that's what's happening there. I don't know what Mozambique's going to do, but we'll see what happens there.
And here in South Africa, we've got the commission, the Matlanga Commission. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You must see how many cases are now opened up there of the people that were involved in corruption. Huh?
Oh, so many.
Stealing money. Nah? And, South Africa is not at a good state at this moment. Huh?
No,
Lots of the top generals of the police was arrested a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Was arrested for corruption and tender fraud and everything. Huh? Mm-hmm. That is now our police. Are so corrupt. Huh? Okay, I can't say all the policemen, but a lot of policemen are very corrupt.
Yeah, a good
taking
85%.
Bribes.
85%.
Yeah, they're taking bribes. If like the Mozambicans or the Zimbabweans, mm-hmm. They go to a place, they go to raid the place, and then they ask extortion money.
Yes.
And then the people just pay them just to stay in South Africa because they don't have jobs in Zimbabwe or Mozambique. So the police are taking extortion money from these people.
To keep them, it's like a mafia racket. They're keeping...
So that's how South Africa became corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Ben, I'm going to let you go do your job there and do your thing. I see you kind of busy. We'll get you back on in 3 or 4 weeks to update us, okay, brother?
Okay, I will. Thanks very much, Mike, for inviting me.
Yeah.
And please, your listeners must listen. They must start standing up and creating groups or pressure groups, forcing your government, the Canadian government, to start acting against this illegal foreigners, chasing them out of the country. Put them out, because they're going to make what is currently busy in South Africa. That there's going to be violence. You understand?
Yes.
How do you remove these people?
Well, here's the problem.
It's now like a situation.
What we're seeing here in Canada is very interesting violence. We have the Palestinians against the Indians, the Pakistans against the Indians. They're all fighting their little wars on Canadian soil, Ben. So that's the problem.
But your people must stand up. You must You must stand up and put pressure on your government to put these people out of your country.
Yeah.
Your country is going to become the same as South Africa.
Yeah.
A corrupt country. We're going to have to pay lots of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Your money is going to be stolen. It's not going to be used for your building up of your country, for your citizens, the real citizens of your country,
Mm-hmm.
the people that were born there. So they will use this money to give to this all this Pakistanians and Somalians and all that rubbish people.
100%. Okay, brother. You have a good one. Have a good
Okay,
day at
Mike.
work.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, and enjoy. And all you people there must be safe. No?
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
God bless you.
Bye bye.